CRA, go. Alright. CAC. Now I know it sounds like shit, or I think it actually means shit in some languages, but cost of acquiring customers is one of the biggest bitches in terms of metrics that you'll have for your business. It's something you really want to get as low as possible. The lower it is, the higher profit margins, right? It's that simple. It's basic business, basic economic principles. But what I see too many people doing is it's almost like they beg to pay for customers twice. Now that sounds retarded, doesn't it? And that's because it is. For example, if you're in the internet marketing space and you sell some sort of info product or physical product, whatever it is, let's say you sell some sort of high ticket offering. But the thing is, the second someone says, I can't afford it right now, or I'm not quite ready, most of you go, cool, no worries, maybe next time. And then you move on like a blibbering idiot. You just hooked a fish, but because it wasn't fat enough to fry right now, you threw it right back in the lake or the swimming pool or wherever it is that you catch fish. But what if I told you that fish might have fed you in 6 months, in 8 months, in a year's time, maybe 3 years, it doesn't matter. But the point is, you hooked a fish and it could have fed you down the line, but you were silly enough to throw it back. Now, this is where something that I call fly trap marketing comes into play. Now, this isn't necessarily a new concept. This is basically what marketing funnels are all about, but most people don't understand the principles of this, and therefore they don't apply it properly to their businesses, and that's why you're just leaking revenue. Because the best marketers, they chase once and then they trap. They build ecosystems so sticky, so value heavy, so omnipresent that when a broke lead, who most people would just dismiss, finally gets their money right.
La, 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 wait till I get my money right.
There's only one person they think of. And a good marketer always markets with that in mind. See, the issue is most people think their only goal with marketing is to convert. It's the society we live in these days. It's instant gratification. Get me more calls, get me more buyers, get me more right now. It's a short-sighted rookie mindset. And it's usually from these LinkedIn marketing demons that, maybe watched a Gary Halbert seminar or read a David Ogilvy book or something, and now they claim to be experts. And you might be paying those exact people in your company or as an agency to market for you right now. But the real game isn't played on that first click, right? It's played horizontally, right? We're in a time continuum. Indoctrination, repetition, familiarity, goodwill, trust, right? These seemingly intangible and malleable factors is how you scale consistently and how you have those holy shit days where you wake up in the morning, you look at your phone and you're like, fuck, like those holy shit days. Because guess what? Most of the people that discover you today, they're probably not going to buy from you today, right? And that could be for a plethora of reasons. Humans are complicated, so don't take it so personally. Not everything revolves around you, okay? They could not be ready, they might be too broke, or they might be distracted with something else right now, or they're just not convinced of you yet. Any of these could be true, but they're still watching, right? You've paid to acquire them, you're now in their world, you're in their peripheral vision. So then if you don't then give them a place to sit and simmer and build trust and familiarity with you, then they're going to leave, right? And then when they are eventually ready to buy, it's not going to be from you because you're no longer the first port of call. You're no longer top of mind. So here's an example. Let's say you have a premium service. It's a high ticket coaching or a done for you offer, consulting, whatever it is. But high ticket is slow burn by nature because it's a lot of money. You're charging a lot of money. And the people who can buy right now, it's usually a very small pool. Everyone talks about TAM, total addressable market, if you don't know what that means. But there's a subsection of TAM which is called SAM. So there's total addressable market and then there's saleable addressable market. So of your total target audience who you could target, how many people are actually, right and qualified for you? It's a very small pool. It's probably only about 10 to 20% of your TAM. But that doesn't necessarily mean the remaining 80 to 90% are unqualified. It just means they're unqualified right now, that they might just need some time. But what most people do is they pay to acquire that 100%, they pay to acquire the TAM, they only convert that 10%, the SAM, and then they let the other 90% go. But at some point, a large proportion of that TAM, of that 90%, will eventually become qualified. Even if it's a few more, it's still more than you converted on the front end. And then if you want them, you either lost them to competition or you have to pay to acquire them again. Now that doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know about you. And look, if this is you, if any of this sounds familiar to you, if you feel a little tingle in your dingle.
What do you mean by that?
and you're running high ticket, low ticket, you have some sort of sales funnel and you feel like you're leaking revenue and you feel like you might only be capturing that ready to buy crowd, you're in luck, because this is exactly what we do. Me or one of the team will audit your funnel completely for free, as long as you're qualified. Don't take the piss. Because if you don't fix it, you're just going to pay to acquire the same leads 6 months or 12 months down the line. You're going to pay to acquire them again. It just doesn't make sense. And trust me, it's way cheaper to just fix your funnel now instead of continuing to rebuy your audience. Like I said, it's a very idiotic thing, not a very smart business move, is it? And then if I think you're a good fit, if I feel like we can genuinely help you, I might offer some tweaks, and we'll offer to make those tweaks for you and, you know, just drive up your profit and your bottom line. Whether or not you want to take us up on that is completely your prerogative, but if you're qualified, then you can get that audit for free. So if you want one, just go down to the bio, there'll be something that says audit, just hit the link for that, and then we'll see what we can do. But anyways, back to the program. So point is, as soon as someone comes across you, instead of just forcing them to climb that $8,000 or $15,000 or even $3,000 mountain on day one, you build what I call a fly trap layer. Like I said, this is not a new concept. It's understanding how this works and why this works. Now, a fly trap layer could be anything from a low ticket product, a private community, which is my personal favorite, a newsletter, a $99 workshop. It could be absolutely anything. Personally, I think a combination of these is best for your business. But whatever you choose to do, whatever combination you choose to decide, it's the not right now business. It's the, it's okay if you're not quite ready yet. But here we have something for you. Some people call these a downsell, but like I'm saying, you need to be a lot more intentional about it. It says, cool, you're not ready, that's fine. Come in anyway, here's a seat, we've got a seat ready for you. It's all warm, I even sat on it earlier just so that your butt cheeks don't have to be cold by sitting in a fresh chair. Get some value, and we're here for you when you're ready. That's exactly what this is doing. And I proposed this for a coach a while back. He sounds like he died. He's a real estate guy who by trade is like a doctor, teaching doctors how to make more wealth with real estate and that sort of stuff. And he had all of these broke med students and even professionals DMing and saying, I'd love to join your mastermind, but I just can't afford it. Or I just can't afford it right now. And at the time, he was doing nothing with them. And I'm pretty sure his setters and his VAs and whoever it was that was looking after his lead generation were just completely blanking them and airing them. And I just thought, this is fucking silly, innit? So I said, instead of ghosting them, why not give them a space within the ecosystem? Because there's clearly a lot of them. This applies to you too. If you're getting a load of emails and you're getting a load of messages saying, I want to do this, but I can't. That's your sign. That's your sign to build something for them. Build that fly trap layer, because eventually they're going to want to buy the higher ticket thing. So for him, for that specific person, it was something very simple. It was just a free community where you let these same people who can't afford to socialize, they get access to content. But here's the important bit. Right, where they feel like they're getting all this free value and they feel like they're part of the gang, like they feel like they're part of the squad. They're also getting hit with behind the scenes content. They're getting hit with results and testimonials in real time, and we incentivized a few of the mastermind members to go in there and socialize with them, just so that they could hear firsthand, these people's experiences, talk to them live and direct. So there was no pitch, no real pressure for these people, and hey ho, flipping like magic. Fast forward 4 months, 9 months, a year, those same people who were DMing saying, I'm broke, I can't afford this, started buying the whole thing in full. Some of them didn't even want to hop on a call or anything. They were just like, yeah, I'm ready for it now. Now, why did that happen? It's quite simple, really. They just didn't forget him. They were part of the ecosystem. They were in that fly trap. They got caught in that sticky layer. Pause.
No homo, we slipping on semen.
So you need to stop thinking of your sales funnels and your marketing funnels as a sort of linear progression or descension path, because that's not how it works. Not everything is theory. Get your head out of the textbooks and all of this theoretical stuff, wherever it is, wherever you learn funnels from. It's not that simple. Human nature is very complicated. It's very complicated, and sometimes we just can't put our finger on why people do certain things. But the thing we do know is that when people are familiar with something and when someone is top of mind, that's more than likely where they're gonna be drawn to. And too many business owners have this ego. Humans are complex, mate. They've got their own shit going on in their lives, and you're probably not their biggest priority. I'm sorry if that offends you, but you're probably not. So just because they're not 100% ready right now, it doesn't mean that they're never going to be ready. It doesn't mean that they're a dead lead and you can just disrespect them and disregard them. You can if you want to, but you're just wasting your own money, really. Don't be a sore loser. Just grow up, innit?
Grow up, Simon. You grow up. I am grown up. You should grow up.
Really? Grow up?
I am. You're not, so grow up.
Oh, that's grown up. Grow up.
Yeah, you should. We'll see who's grown up, won't we? Grow up. Grow up. Oh, grow up! Grow up! Grow up.
You're building a gravity well. Now, I think that's the right term. Anyways, I'm shit at physics, but you're building a gravity well. So when people aren't ready yet, they just continue to chill in the atmosphere. They continue to like revolve around you. Because getting traffic is hard. Paid traffic is flipping expensive. Organic, slow, and inconsistent. So why the hell would you throw any of it away? Flytrap marketing is about maximizing that surface area. Of course, you still have your qualification criteria and you still add friction in the right places because you don't just want any Tom, Dick or Harry like finding their way in there. But if they have those core fundamental characteristics, give them somewhere to go. Because all of those people who could be buyers, you're just maximizing the potential that eventually they will be with the same initial coin you put up front rather than continue to buy them again. Does it make sense now? You're catching every level of buyer and you're feeding them the right meal for where they are right now, but you're also conditioning them to crave more. Like, that's actually genius when you think about it. It's the reason why a lot of these creators with massive names and a lot of followers earn less than some people I've seen that have like 3,000 followers on Instagram and they're running the smartest, sickest funnels. Some of the biggest names that you might have heard of in your industry or any industry, they're not making nearly as much as you'd be expecting them to be just because they don't understand these basic fundamentals. You don't need mass appeal. You don't need viral videos or virality or, you know, trying to appeal to everyone. You need depth. You need depth of understanding and depth of relationships. That's what builds trust, that's what builds relevance, and that's what builds stickiness for your cult. And that none of that comes from a linear funnel. It comes from having that ecosystem, things that interact with each other. But also, I'm just going to caveat, like, there's always going to be people out here that misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying you need to have a product suite or an offering suite the size of Amazon's flipping catalog. Like, it's not what I'm saying at all. But if you're only selling high ticket and you've only been selling high ticket for quite a while and you feel like you're starting to hit a certain level of saturation, which isn't really real, by the way, that saturation is probably just because you're bleeding leads. You're converting a tenth of who you should be converting. You're relying on the 10% of your traffic that's, you know, they're cash rich, they're ready and they're eager and they're willing to buy right now. And you're letting that 90% walk out the door, some of whom might have been your best customers, you know, a year down the line. So if you actually want to make more money and have a consistent, scalable offer, and you want more leverage in your current offer, rather than doing what everyone else does and thinking, oh, you know, they've saturated their market, let me launch a new offer. Fucking stupid. Stop doing that shit. This is exactly what you need to do. You need to build the trap. You need to give them a place to stay, give them a seat within your house. And when they're ready, guess what? You're not going to need to chase. They're going to come directly to you. I promise this will change your business.